Yo, peace to the gods. All right, I'm about to break down this truth to y'all in a way that you probably never heard it before. All right, and it's gonna make perfect sense. So y'all better pay attention. And I just went live just a second ago, but I was like halfway through and it cut off. The connection was poor. So we about to do this again. All right. So this is what I want to start it off with. All right. This is what you need to know. The first question is, where did white people come from? Where did the less melanated beings come from? All right? Okay, to understand this, the first thing you need to know is what we are. Okay? We are light, we are the sun. Yes, and we are consciousness. Everything in the universe is consciousness. It's matter. But we, as matter, as infinite potential, as formless beings, we took form and came into this universe as human beings, okay? Hey, what's up, Tavius? They cut off the live, but I'm back again. They ain't gonna stop this knowledge. I got some crazy shit for y'all to hear, all right? So listen. When it comes to the truth, right? Where did white people come from? Where did they come from? And I say to understand that, you must understand that we are consciousness, but we came into these forms, into these bodies as human beings. Human beings, what is a human being? Okay? So people love to argue with me about this. So let me make it very clear to y'all. Okay? Hang on one second, I got y'all. I'll make it very, very clear to y'all so y'all can really understand. Let's all go to Google. If y'all can go to Google too, you can go to Google. Google does not have all the truth on it. No, it doesn't. But certain things are obviously true. So hang on, let me see. When you look up the definition of human, literally the definition of a human is this. It says, relating to the characteristics of people or human beings. Okay? Which means there's no actual real definition of what a human is. Another one, a human being, especially a person, as distinguished from animals, okay? Or an alien. That's what it says. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is there is literally no real definition of what a human is. Because the real definition of what a human is that we're actually apes. We're gorillas. We're apes, okay? Human beings belong to the species called great apes. And we are mammals, okay? And when we go to ask what is a mammal, the definition of a mammal is what? A mammal is a warm-blooded vertebrate animal of a class that is distinguished by the possession of hair or fur, okay? Human beings, we have hair, we have fur, which is just hair around our whole body, right? This is hair, this is fur, okay? This is what a mammal is, and it's warm-blooded. We have warm blood because we come from the tropics, black people, okay? And then it says the possession of hair or fur and the secretion of milk by females. Okay? Women produce milk from their titties, right? Okay? Yes, so do cows. So do other mammals as well. Dogs even, right? So these are mammals. This is what a human being is. Okay? That secretes milk. This is what a human being is. And we're specifically under the species called great apes. We are primates. Okay, so the reason I'm telling you that is for us to lead into my next point. The question, what are white people? Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to say is, I did some research and I looked some shit up. So I looked at something special. Something very simple. It was about grizzly bears and polar bears, right? I said, what is a grizzly bear? What is a polar bear? Okay? What is a brown bear? Okay? So a grizzly bear and a polar bear are from the same species. Correct? They're bears. But they are very different. Just like human beings. I'm a black man. There's a white man. There's an Asian man. There's a Latino man. We have the same species, but we are very different. Right? This place, America, okay? In the world, people around the world, they try to make it seem like we're all the same. We're all exactly the same. Color doesn't matter. Okay, in a sense, what they mean color doesn't matter, like we should all show love. Duh, yes, color doesn't matter. But color does matter in the sense that we need to notice our differences, okay? Because we do have a lot of differences in order to understand each other more. Because true love is actually understanding, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, when they did the research on a grizzly bear and a polar bear, they realized they are the same species. And then they said, where did polar bears come from? How do they live in Antarctica, right? In the cold, right? So grizzly bears live in a warm climate. But they did research and they realized polar bears actually came from grizzly bears or brown bears. And they're actually brown, okay? Let me show y'all. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. Y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. So like a brown bear. So right now, imagine in your mind that a brown bear is a black person, okay? And a polar bear is a white person. Hang on. That's a dirty polar bear. I don't know why they showed a polar bear dirty as hell that looked like a black dude. Not that, but look, polar bear, okay? Think of that as being a white person. These polar bears are white for a reason, because they live in the cold. You know how they say white people came from the Caucasus Mountains? They came from the cold, okay? This is actually true. This is why their noses are more skinny, okay? So they can take in less oxygen. Because a black man has a bigger nose, so he can take in a lot of oxygen to cool down the body in a hot climate. You understand? This is the reason for it. Because black people come from there. So the polar bear came from the grizzly bear. And they say, which one is a stronger bear? The grizzly bear is a stronger bear. You can look it up right now. The grizzly bear is a stronger one, and the polar bear is weaker. Why? Because the grizzly bear lives in a warmer climate naturally, okay? The polar bear lives in a colder climate. Coldness actually contracts muscles. It contracts things. It makes it smaller. It makes it weaker. It slows down DNA, and it mutates it. The heat, the tropics, it expands DNA, okay? It actually makes it hotter and stronger and flow better. This is why the grizzly bear is stronger, obviously, and the grizzly bear is an original form. It's the original form of the bear, right? This is exactly the same as human beings. The story of human beings and white people, black people, this is the same thing. If you have a brain and a heart and a mind to see, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody else, you probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But listen, right? Now that the grizzly bear, and guess what they said? The grizzly bear is the polar bear. That's another thing. The grizzly bear is actually the polar bear is actually a grizzly bear that has been traveled up north and then went into a colder climate and actually mutated to adapt to its environment and became white. That's exactly what happened to the grizzly bear. So the grizzly bear actually became the polar bear. So the polar bear is the grizzly bear, just another form of it. That's exactly what white people are. They are another form of us. And to be specific, they're a lesser form of us in a DNA sense and standpoint, okay? Because they have become weaker because of the environment they're in. Living in the cold, they struggle to even get their resources. They can't even eat. They can barely eat. They have to do different things and eat different things in order to just survive. In the cold, there's no plants and stuff growing and lots of trees, so it's harder for them to find food. So inevitably, the polar bear becomes weaker. The grizzly bear is living in abundance in the heat, so it can eat whatever it wants, it can get whatever it needs, and it's living close to the sun, so it's getting charged up constantly. This is why the grizzly bear is stronger. This is exactly what black people are. The black people are the black bears, okay, the grizzly bears. White people are the polar bears, okay? This is how you should think of it, a way to think about it, right? And then all other races in between, like Spanish people, those light-skinned Spanish people, they're very close to white people as well. They're also mutated, very mutated, okay? People that are less mutated and more like us are like dark-skinned Brazilians, dark-skinned Puerto Ricans, okay? They're way more powerful, okay? And they're basically black people. And they're not far removed from the original state of man, okay? The original state, the aboriginal state of man, which is the African black man, okay? Because the whole planet truly was black. Everybody was black at one point in the beginning. Okay, in the beginning. So we have something called Pangea. You look up Pangea, they call it supercontinent. Okay, it's when the land masses were all one, all together. Then they spread, okay, over time. So think about Pangea, the beginning, the origins of humanity. Everybody was black on one land, close to the equator, very hot, tropical, right? Then the lands break up. Then it goes to the north, some goes to the south, and then some come out like this. You have Brazil come out here, you have China over there, you know, you have America. Now they're further away from the equator. So the climate changed, it became cold and things like this, right? In these climates, the genes mutate. Everything mutates, just like the story of the polar bear. The genes had to mutate in order to survive in its environment. This is exactly what happened. I'm trying to tell y'all this is exactly the story of life itself. Okay? Because I'm tapped into a higher power. A higher power, let's say the inner source, okay? My DNA. Because I am God. Okay? So now think about this. When the lands broke up, Pangea, now you have the polar bear, the grizzly bear, the same grizzly bear that was in Africa, right? It went and now went to the north side, okay? In the cold. Then that same grizzly bear, which would be us, turned into the polar bear. So it's still the grizzly bear, just another form of it, in a weaker form, but it's in a good form, a proper form for it to survive in its environment. This is exactly what happened, okay? Then the white man, what did he do? He realized, oh my God, I know that I'm weaker now. They can tell they're weaker. They can see black people, see how strong they are. They see the black man in the jungle with a big damn dick and a very powerful, strong, muscular body. They immediately get insecure. They feel scared, okay? They're like, oh my God, these niggas are huge. So what do? They create guns, weapons, in order to defend themselves so they can dominate the black man and feel superior. This is exactly what happened. They wanted to feel superior, so they dominated us in that kind of way, using guns and violence. When we didn't want to be violent, black people, we're chill. We're one with the earth. We're humble. We don't want to be violent. Just like the ape. If you study the great ape, silverback gorilla. Silverback gorilla is the biggest motherfucker in the jungle, right? But guess what? It doesn't actually result to violence or hurt anything unless it's absolutely necessary and has to defend its family or something like that. But other than that, the silverback gorilla is completely non-violent and is just enjoying eating food, just like black people. What do we like to do? We like to chill back. We like to smoke weed, just relax, okay? We like to chill. We like to have sex, have a lot of sex and just relax and eat good food and then party and dance. That's black people. We love to party and dance and just enjoy the good time. When I used to go to African parties, my mom and dad danced the whole night up to 12, 1, 2 a.m. from 6 or 4. This is black people. That's what we love to do. But white people, they didn't have a culture like that. They don't. They're not like that. We have a whole different energy. So this is what I'm saying. Like when it comes to integration, okay, let's get into integration. What do I mean by that? We should not all be integrated and try to integrate together and be all harmonious like that. Okay? The brown bear and the polar bear, okay? The grizzly bear and the polar bear, they don't have to integrate in order to live in peace and harmony together. They actually stay in their rightful place and they live and they survive the way their DNA has mutated in order for them to survive. The polar bear is now white. He's different now. Him coming back to the tropics, the warm area, he wouldn't even know how to survive. Okay, the sun would be too hot. It would be too much for him. It can't even survive in the environment anymore. This is white people. They have been so mutated that they can't even go back to Africa, okay, or go back to this warm climate that they're supposed to be in, because they have been mutated in order to survive in colder, less warm environments. They have been mutated to adapt to that. So that's why they need to stay. White people should stay in America, stay integrated with their people. All black people should leave and go to Africa. Although the whole planet is Africa, is our planet, right? We're the origins of all humans. But white people, right now, how it is, but black people should leave, that are conscious ones, that know what's going on, and go integrate with other black people. Integrate with your kind, okay? If you're Spanish, if you're Mexican, if you're Indian, you should go to those people. If you're Indian, you should go to India, okay? If you're Mexican, you should go to Mexico. Why? Because the closer you are to people that look just like you, the more you will relate to them. Okay, that's why you have a greater relationship. Because look at the word relationship, it has a relate in front of it. You will have the best relationship with the people you can relate to the most, and you will have the best relationship with beings that you can relate to the most. I can't relate to a white girl and how she grew up in life and the things that she likes and the music she likes and things like that, because we see, hear, and feel life completely different. Okay? So we're not going to relate on the same level like I would relate to a dark-skinned black woman that looks like me. Okay? And if I truly love my race, I want to have children with and have a baby that looks exactly like me. Because I love myself. You see? And in that, it brings harmony. The Asian people stay in China and wherever they are. Black people go to Africa. White people stay in America because that's the place that you've conquered for now. So y'all can stay there. Europeans stay in Europe. You see? When we're with people that we relate to the most, we have our own cultures and everyone gets along. Okay? The Buddhist, you can be Buddhist in China and be fine. Okay? Have your culture. And we can do what we want to do and have our culture where we are. This creates harmony. So we can have harmony without actually directly integrating. Like Martin Luther King tried to do, integrate everything. Okay? This creates so much confusion because we're not alike. We are not alike. And we never will be completely alike. Okay? We're only alike the things that we look like. Just like the penguin. The penguin only hangs out with the other penguins that look exactly like them. The bluebirds hang with the bluebirds that look exactly like them. The foxes hang out with the other foxes that look like them. The polar bears hang out with the polar bears that look just like them. They look identical. All the zebras in the world hang out with the zebras that look exactly like them. You see what I'm saying? So just like human beings, we are the same species. We're human beings, right? We're primates. But we have subspecies within that, which would be the other races. Black, Asian, Mexican, Indian, Arabian. Those are subspecies within humans, right? So those subspecies need to have their own cultures and be separated, organized properly, and we live in tune with each other, right? Of course, there can be certain exceptions. Some people can come over to Arabian dude can come to Africa and try to live with us, but he's not going to feel like he fits in all the way. He's not going to feel it because it's not what he's used to, what he grew up in, what his DNA is aligned with. He's going to feel like there's something missing or feel like a little off naturally, because in nature, naturally we gravitate towards what looks like us, what resonates with us, what frequency we're on. Okay? Another way I can explain this, right? They had a study done, right? They did a test. They had an Asian girl, a white girl, a black girl, a Latino girl, right? Lined up. And they had dudes line up, right? Of those same races as well. And they're asking them, who do you think is the most attractive out of all these girls if you rate them 1 to 5, right? The Asian dude said what? He rated the Asian girl 5. She was the best looking to him. What did the Latino dude do? He chose the Mexican girl. He said he'd rather be with her. She's the most beautiful. What did the black dude do? He chose the black girl. She said she's the most beautiful. Okay? What did the white dude do? He said, I'll probably be with the white girl. Do you see what I'm saying? Naturally, we innately want to be with somebody that looks exactly like us because we feel the most comfortable with them. We feel the most connected with them. Okay? That's nature, right? It's like this: a black person or a black person and a Mexican person. We're vibrating at 2 different frequencies, right? Listen to different music, different culture. We eat different foods, right? So this is our frequencies like this, right? But if I'm with another black person, boom, the frequency is like in alignment. We eat the same things, we dance the same, we feel the same vibe, we listen to some of the same musics, okay? We have the same culture. So now we vibe, we feel more connected, we feel more one. This is how it's supposed to work. You see? When it comes to other races, you're not going to feel so connected. You're going to feel, it's going to be like a static connection because it's not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to feel all the way full and fulfilled because that person does not relate to you as much in that relationship. There's no woman that can treat me the best in the way and understand me to the degree that the black woman can, because that's my other half. The black woman is like my second puzzle piece. It's directly connected to me. she's going to understand me. When I'm not feeling good, she can innately feel it. Her psychic abilities, okay, the way I respond, the way I act, she can understand me more. She can understand the black struggle more, okay? If I'm with the white girl, there's no way she's going to understand the black struggle. I have some women that's still saying, oh, there's no racism in this world. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, there's racism, but it's not that... Because the white girl did not go through racism and all that. So she can't understand me to the degree that another black woman that went through the same struggle as me can understand me. You understand? So this is what I'm saying. To be with what you are going to be the most happy with is going to be who you can integrate with the most and feel connection with, who looks like you. Someone that looks like you, basically. Whatever race you are, whatever color you are, you're going to feel the most familiar, connected, okay, with the people that look directly like you, okay? But that's not saying that it's impossible for you to live, if you're a white person, to live in Africa, or a black person to live in Europe. It's possible. But what I'm telling you is if you're around people that look like you, have the same culture as you, listen to the same music as you, you're going to feel more connected and more at home. I know this because I traveled around the world. I went to Hawaii. I went to Puerto Rico. I went to Costa Rica. I went to Africa. After I went to all these Spanish-speaking countries and Hawaii, okay, I always noticed I connected with people. Okay, they were cool. They showed love. But I always felt like there was something missing. Like I couldn't really stay here by these people. Okay, the vibe was not right. You know, black people, we like to scream and talk and go and wild out and have a lot of fun and party and dance. And that's what we like to do. We like to smoke weed and chill. And we feel each other on a deeper level. I didn't feel that when I went to Hawaii. I don't feel the vibe that I feel when I go to Africa. Okay, and I feel the drums. They're playing the drums in Africa, and they're doing a thing. You know, the culture, the things we're wearing, the food that we eat. Okay, it's a whole different frequency vibration. That's what I'm telling you. That's why Tanzania, Africa, was the best place for me as a black man, because I felt the most at home, the most connected with beings that look like me. They just look like all my brothers. They look exactly like me. They look like me. So I look at myself and I really see my reflection. Right? That doesn't mean that I'm racist. I'm not racist. Okay? I'm just telling you exactly how the mechanics of reality works, the nature of reality. An eagle doesn't hang out with the hawks. Okay? Because they're just different. They like to hang out in different places. White people like to hang out in different places, like to do different things. They like to swim in the ocean. They like to skydive and shit like that. They like to do that. We don't understand it completely because that's them and their DNA. It makes sense to them somehow, right? But black people, we like to do other things. We like to be relaxed. We like to go be in nature. We like to just have sex and chill, you know, smoke weed and do our thing and party and have fun. That's what black people like to do. That's what we do. Okay? So this is the difference. This is the big difference. And you're not going to understand it probably unless you go experience it. So, you know, I don't say don't go to these other countries, you know. Go experience it and you'll know what I'm talking about, right? I can tell you because I already did it. So if you're Mexican, you'll feel great in Mexico. I'm telling you. If you're Brazilian, you'll feel great in Brazil, right? That's your culture. It's a part of you. Okay? So this is how we'll have peace and harmony on the earth. And you guys will see that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. Now, let me try to play a clip for y'all so y'all can understand a little bit deeper what I'm saying. Okay, it's a clip from, what's his name? Muhammad Ali, right? He's talking about integration, basically, racial integration. Now, y'all just listen real quick.
People to move in the neighborhoods, but clean their own neighborhoods. And another thing, when you say integration, it comes under intermarriage too, right? All been together.
Right, sure.
And I'm sure no intelligent white person watching this show, or no intelligent white man in his or her right white mind want black boys and black girls marrying their white sons and daughters, and in return introducing their grandchildren as half brown, kinky-haired black people.
I
I'm
wouldn't
sure
object to that.
Well, you wouldn't, but a lot of them would.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people. No, this is the point.
What I'm trying to say is this. You don't have it. You say you don't, but you don't have it. You really ain't gonna have it. You on the show and you gotta say that. But
that's not true.
Why would you want to do that?
Because
Don't you
I
love
don't think
yourself?
I'm any different from you. You see.
We much different.
I mean, I think society's made us
We know
different.
we're different. And we all together.
But society's made us different.
No, not society. God made us different.
No, we're just human beings. He made all of us.
We all listen. Bluebirds fly with bluebirds. Red birds want to be with red birds. Listen. Tell me when I'm wrong. Pigeons want to be with pigeons.
But
Tell me when I'm right.
intelligence.
Well,
We have an
we
intellect
must.
they
Well, we
don't
should have.
have.
They don't have intelligence, but yet
No.
they stay together. We should have more intelligence than them, right? Buzzards are with buzzards. Buzzards are with buzzards. Bluebirds are with bluebirds. They all are birds, but they got different cultures. The eagles like to hang out in the mountains. The buzzard like to fly around the desert.
Well, there
the
is certain-
bluebird like to fly around the trees and
There'd
the
be certain
grass.
problems a buzzard mating with a sparrow, wouldn't there?
What?
There'd be certain.
Right.
I
We
mean-
have the problems too.
No,
I don't see no black and white couples in England or America walking around proud, holding their children
That's because
and
society.
going out.
That's society's fault. I mean, we've got to educate people around it.
Well, life is too short for me to be catching hell for something like that. I'd rather go and be my own. I have a beautiful daughter, beautiful wife. They look like me. We're all happy, and I don't have no trouble. I ain't that much in love with no woman to go through all that hell. Ain't no one woman that good. You understand?
I understand. Yeah, I do understand. I understand. I think it's sad that
It ain't sad because I want my child to look like me. Every intelligent person wants his child to look like him. I'm sad because I want to blot out my race and lose my beautiful identity. Chinese love Chinese. They love the little slanted-eyed, pretty brown-skinned babies. Pakistanis love their culture. Jewish people love their culture. A lot of Catholics don't want to marry number Catholics. They want the religion to stay the same. Who want to spot up yourself and kill your race? You a hater of your people if you don't want to stay who you are. You shame what God made you. God didn't make no mistake when He made us all like we were.
I think that's a philosophy of despair.
Despair.
I really do.
It ain't no
Yeah,
despair.
I think
Number
it's-
one,
I think-
ain't no woman. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you. Listen, no woman on this whole earth, not even a black woman in Muslim countries, can please me and cook for me and socialize and talk to me like my American black woman. No woman, and last is a white woman, can really identify with me and my feelings and the way I act and the way I talk. And you can't take no Chinese man and give him no Puerto Rican woman and holler about we in love and you emotionally in love and physically, but really they're not happy because she's going to hear some Puerto Rican music, he's going to hear some Chinese music. And they're going to be clashing all the time. It's just nature. You can do what you want, but it's nature to want to be with your own. I want to be with my own. I love my people. That's all. I don't hate nobody.
You see? So what he's saying is he wants to be with his own. It's literally our nature to just want to have our race, our type to keep going. So naturally, this is how we all feel, whether people want to say it or not, okay? White parents, they don't necessarily want their child, their white daughter, to be with a black man or be with other races, okay? Same with Asian parents. They don't want them to date out of their race. Why is this? It's because in nature, naturally, their natural nature is for them to want their species to continue, whether or not they're mutated or not. Just like I showed you, the grizzly bear, the polar bear. The polar bear, just because it's mutated, doesn't mean it doesn't want polar bears to keep going. Okay, it's still going to have sex with other polar bears, and it's going to want its race or its form, its species to keep going, its subspecies to keep going. Same with white people. They won't admit it because this is how deceitful they are. Okay, not all of them, obviously, but some of them. They won't say it because it's going to come off as racist. But it's not really racist. It's just natural, okay? They don't really like us for real like that because they don't understand us really. They're not black. And we don't really have no problem with white people. Black people don't have a problem with white people. We don't really care, right? We just be doing our thing. We like to chill and relax. We already know we're the original, you know? Majority of us already know that. So we just relax and do our thing. We are not concerned about what they're doing. You see? We don't care. But when it comes to that, we need to not integrate. We need to not integrate. We need to stay with our subspecies, right? Because I explained that earlier. And do our thing and live in our culture. This is how we'll have peace on the earth. Peace and harmony, right? Peace and love. And I'm going to go deeper in a different live, all right? Y'all have a good one. I love myself.